Hey YouTube, welcome to another deck profile video. Today's video I'm going to be showing you guys my Amazoness deck, and the variant that I'm running is Amazoness Beatdown because I think that's the most efficient and effective variant of the deck. So we'll get into the monsters. I run 3 Amazoness Paladin. She's your kind of main Amazoness monster. She has 1800 attack when she's on the field, and underneath Amazoness Village she goes up to 2000, so she's kind of like the main Amazoness beater, and she gains 100 for every Amazoness on the field. Then I run 3 Amazoness Swordswomen. So her effect is that your opponent takes all battle damage and you don't, so she's got a pretty decent effect, especially sort of late game. She's also got the ability to finish games. She combos really well with Amazoness Village. The fact that you could, if you've got Amazoness Village on the field, summon Swordswoman, attack your opponent's monster, they lose their life points, special summon another Amazoness Swordswoman and attack again. I finished quite a lot of duels that way, so it's just a fun combo that she can do. I also run 2 Amazoness Trainees. The reason why I run Trainee is because she doesn't send the monster that she beats to the grave, it goes to the bottom of the deck, and a lot of decks, especially this format, rely on their graves a lot. Plus she gains 200 attack for every monster she destroys, so it helps with that gaining attack. Then I also run 2 Amazoness Chainmasters. Because I run a beatdown version, I don't really want any Amazoness monsters on low attack, so that's why I don't run Scouts or Amazoness Blowpiper. So Chainmaster, her effect is that you can pay 1500 life points to look at your opponent's hand and take a card. So I generally only use her effect once a duel, but it's effective enough. You know, it gives you the view of your opponent's hand, see what they're playing, see what they're going to set up, and you can also interrupt their plays by taking a card. Then I run just the 1 Amazoness Fighter. She's really good late game when both you and your opponent are on low life points. You don't want to risk losing any life points, just summon her and you won't take any damage. Then I run the boss card, Amazoness Queen. I run 2. Her effect is that Amazoness monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. It's not the greatest of boss card effects, but when she's out underneath Village and other power up cards that I run, she's generally sort of 3500 attack, and she can't be destroyed by battle, so pretty good. Then I run 1 Warrior Lady of the Wasteland just to search out my Amazoness monsters. And then I run 1 Rose Warrior of Revenge, just for the fact that if I want to go into a level 8 synchro, I've got that option. And then I run 1 the Immortal Bushi, just because Amazoness monsters struggle with field presence, and I think that because I run only warriors, he can basically, every turn, he can create a wall for me. Quite a lot with Amazons, if you don't start off with an Amazoness monster, it's difficult to draw into one. And if you don't have Amazoness Village to constantly give you that resource of Amazoness monsters, you generally run out pretty quickly. So he's handy if on my turn I don't have a monster, I can bring him out. Plus, I use him, he's kind of like Amazoness Queen's bitch. So every turn I can bring him out, I can tribute him and summon Amazoness Queen. As she is probably the strongest Amazoness monster of them all, you want to get her out as much as possible. So yeah, that's the monster lineup. So onto the spell cards, I run 3 Amazoness Village. Easily their best card that they got in Duelist Revolution. Hopefully they'll get more support, but that's another discussion. So yeah, Amazoness Village, really strong field spell card. Basically, whenever an Amazon's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon another Amazoness from your deck with the same level or lower. You can only do it once per turn, but it works on your opponent's turn as well. So then I run 1 Seal of Orichalcos. Basically my deck doesn't really go into extra deck monsters at all. It focuses on having the 1 Amazoness monster out on the field and powering her up. So it's a pretty decent card for them. Then I run 1 Terraforming because I run 4 field spells. I need some search help with that. Then I run 1 Dark Hole. This card really combos well with Amazoness Village because, similar with Torrential Tribute, I can activate it, destroy all my opponent's cards. If I've got an Amazoness on the field, it doesn't really hurt me because I can then use Village to special summon another Amazon. I run 1 Book and then 1 Creature Swap. I'm thinking about putting this up to 2. because it is a really effective card. Basically, the deck that I run doesn't go into XYZs really that often, so I wait for my opponent to bring out a decent XYZ, I summon an Amazon, swap them over. Whilst I've got a village on the field, I can destroy their Amazon, and then I get to special summon another one, so it works in my favour. Then I run 3 Mystical Space Typhoons and 3 Duality. Now Duality's in here just because Amazoness, obviously, they lack a lot of consistency. Amazoness is probably one of the main decks that you top deck really, really bad in. You don't normally get a decent draw card. So you need Pot of Duality. Plus, I don't generally special summon, except for Amazoness Village, but generally I just normal summon that one monster and that's really my turn. Then I run 2 Solidarity, so obviously I just run Warriors, so it gives them an 800 attack boost and turns the Amazons into beat sticks. Then I also run 2 Kaiser Colosseums. Basically, my deck doesn't go into the extra deck, and it cuts off my opponent, makes them not be able to swarm, and it doesn't let them go into their extra deck. So basically, these 2 cards are the strategy of my Amazoness deck. So to power up my single Amazon, cut off my opponent, and not let them do more than just summon one monster. And generally, they're not going to be able to get over any of my monsters because they're on 2,500 and plus. Okay, so onto the traps. I run a lot of spell cards, so my trap lineup's quite low. I just run the 1 Mind Crush. It combos really well with Amazoness Chainmaster. You can use Chainmaster's effect, take a card your opponent controls, and then use Mind Crush and send another card to the grave because obviously you've looked at their hand. But even if you don't have an Amazoness Chainmaster to use the effect, a lot of the meta decks today, like Bujin Artifact, Mermail, they use effects that you know what they're adding to the hand, so you can chain that with Mind Crush and put them at a disadvantage. Then the rest of my traps are just the staples. 1 Compulse, 1 Torrential, 1 Solemn, 1 Bottomless, and 1 Mirror Force. I wish that Torrential was at 2 because I think that it doesn't really affect Amazoness too much, especially with Amazoness Village on the field. Just chain it 2 monsters summon and then you're still left with 1 monster, whereas they've got an empty field. Okay, so I'm going to briefly show you guys the extra deck. Obviously the build that I run doesn't really go into the extra deck very often. Its main focus is having that 1 strong Amazoness on the field and then using Solidarity and Amazoness Village to power it up, and use Kaiser Colosseum to shut off your opponent plays. But I'll show you guys the extra deck anyways. So I run 2 Blade Armor Ninjas. The other 2 main rank 4s would be Heroic Excaliburs, but I need to get hold of them still. And then the rest of it is just sort of generic rank 4s. Amazoness monsters do have a difficulty of getting more than just 1 on the field. And not only that, but because I run Solidarity, I have to choose wisely which XYZs I bring out, because obviously if they go to the grave, if they're not warrior, it affects those sort of plays. But that's fine, because generally I never go into the extra deck. It's just nice to have it there as an option. And then I also run the 3 Synchro monsters, because I run Rose Warrior of Revenge. Colossal Fight is pretty boss in this deck, because obviously he's on 2,800 already, and late game, when I've got a graveyard full of Amazons, plus Solidarity, he normally gets to like nearly 5,000. So normally I can finish my opponent off with that. So to conclude, guys, basically this Amazoness deck profile is Amazoness Beatdown, which I think is by far the strongest variant of the deck. You don't run things like Tiger. Basically the Amazoness struggle to swarm the field or get more than 1 monster out in the field. So I focus on having a single Amazoness monster, boosting her up with Seal of Orichalcos, Solidarity, and then use Kaiser Colosseum to prevent my opponent from swarming the field and going into the extra deck. So I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Check out my other videos. And I'm also going to be doing a dual video showing off this deck profile, so you guys can see it in action. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned. Cheers.